Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It's not so bright and early anymore. It's 10 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I don't know if you guys remember me saying this. To be honest, I was blown away. To say I was disappointed is not even the views that my two videos got this morning. I had an idea that the car tax thing wouldn't do that good. I just wanted to do like an information thing. But the Lizzo thing is just bombing. And I've told you guys before, whenever I see this, I kind of just throw caution to the wind. I just say screw it. And you know what, I'm going to talk about whatever I feel like talking about. And, if a video that I thought was going to do really good bombs like the Lizzo one, I just say screw it. And, I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about and let the chips fall where they may. And that's where we are today. All right, so there's a couple things that happened. There's something that happened to me on my bike ride yesterday, and it really frustrated me because I wanted to do something more about it. I wanted to speak up more. I wanted to put somebody in their place, more or less. And I got the chance to do that this morning. Also, I did a video a little while back saying I found something on the sidewalk, and it happened again today. Okay, those two things, I'm going to talk about those two things. And I came across a video clip of Nick Fuentes, and I've seen Nick Fuentes say a lot of messed up, hateful, that he wants to marry a 16-year-old girl, that women should be barefoot and pregnant, just everything. But this blows me away. It's got to do with Hitler and a black man. Supposedly, Nick Fuentes saw a black man throwing a wrapper out of his car in his neighborhood, and you won't believe this. The clip of it. Let me talk about the first thing first. Okay, yesterday. This is when this situation started. I was riding my bike back home. There's a lot of construction in this area, and this is an area I really don't like going by. It's the bus station's near there. I've never bought drugs or used in Bristol, the city I'm living in now, at all. I moved here 2 years ago. I've been clean and sober, and back when I was using, this wasn't a city that I really, used in. I think I used in Bristol once in all my 25 years when I was using. So I'm not really familiar with, the areas. But when I moved here, I spotted an area not far from my place, and it's a park. It's got kids' playground equipment, but there's this one area of the park that's kind of a little more isolated. It's set back, and there's a lot of open grass and sidewalks around it that lead to the gazebo, kind of in the center. In other words, it would take somebody. The people at the gazebo would see cops coming. That's basically what I want to say. Since I moved here, I see people hanging out at this gazebo. Like 6, 7. People hanging out with their shirts off, and they're all loud, and I could even see questionable things being passed. And I usually avoided this area, but with a lot of construction going on in the neighborhood, I went by there yesterday. And as I'm riding my bike, and I'm kind of standing up on the pedals, going slow because of the sidewalk and traffic and everything. And I hear, yo, yo. Right off the bat, I know where it's coming from. So I keep looking ahead. And then I hear it again. So I'm like, all right. It's these guys. It's these guys at the gazebo trying to get my attention. So I look over at them. And they're like, yo, like this. They're come on over. All right. I have no intention of going over there. First of all, there's nothing, no good could come of this. There's nothing they have that I want. There's nothing that there's no business. There's nothing at all that going to see what they want would benefit me. But the thing that really bothers me is that somebody would yell. This happened before to me. Somebody yelled like that. And it angers me that somebody thinks they could just call me like a dog. Like, yo, come here. And I'm going to run right over. Back in my earlier days when I was a chubby, quiet kid, that's the kind of thing I would have done. Now it kind of ticks me off. And I look over and I stare at them. Well, the bike is wrong. I want them to know that I see them. I see you're calling me. and I just go even slower because I kind of want them to come over to me so I could tell them, it made me mad that they thought they could beckon me and I would, come when called. That made me angry. And so I went as slow as I could all the way around the park. And I was going to go straight, and I did a 45-degree angle so that the gazebo's always in view, just to see if they would come over. Because I wanted to tell them, man, you don't want to talk to me, And I figured they were dealing. Either they were dealing, or they thought they actually believed that the six of them could get over on me somehow. And I wanted a confrontation. I wanted to make it known. I was angry that they would view me in that light, and I wanted them to know it, not to do it again. That I'm not scared of them. If anybody should be scared of anybody, they should be scared of me. And so I rode really slow, all kind of rode around, and then I actually went around again and came around the parking lot, and so they could still see me as I brought my bike home. And it bothered me all day yesterday because I wanted them to, you don't call me, you don't look at me, you don't, what I'm doing is none of your business. Mind your own business. This morning, and it was still bothering me this morning. And I know I shouldn't do stuff like this. I shouldn't tempt fate. But I went by that park again, and just not even about 40 minutes ago. And as there was nobody. There was one or two people in the park, and then there was some family. There was a couple women way over on the other side, on the jungle gym and stuff. So I figured, it's too early. These guys are probably still in bed or whatever. And but then as I went around the park, one of the guys was on a bike and the other guy was walking. And I didn't recognize them from yesterday, but it must have been the two of them. And as they're going by, they're going, "Yo, dude, didn't you see us yesterday?" And I was like, and I stopped and I turned towards them and I realized it was them. And I said, "Yeah, I saw you." I said, "Do I look like a dog?" And he's like, "What, man?" And I said, "Do I look like a dog? Do you think you can call me and I'm going to come running over?" And he starts laughing. He's like, "No, man, you're all right. You are cool." And he goes, I wanted to know if you need," this is what he said, if you need anything, man, you need anything?" And I was like, "No, man, I don't need or want anything from you." And then I see his buddy's face get serious, like I was pushing for a confrontation. And I know I shouldn't do this, but I was still angry from yesterday. And the dude just hits the other guy and says, "Come on, let's go. It's cool, man. It's cool." And they rode away. And it felt good. It felt good confronting them. I know I shouldn't do stuff like this, especially at 57 years old. But I feel like it's resolved now. I don't want to be beckoned like that. I'm pretty sure they were dealing, and it aggravates me too because I don't look like a user anymore. It bothers me, what I'm wearing, my bike, my physical fitness, my hair. Why would they possibly think that I was using, that I'd want anything? And that ticked me off too. So I kind of pushed for a confrontation today. And I got it. And I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna look the other way when I go by. I hope so. If not, I'm gonna have to make the point clearer. I don't want them thinking that they can get over on me. When they see me, they should just look the other way and go about their business. That's what I want. I want to make that clear. Then, okay, this is something else that just happened to me this morning because I get up at 2 a.m. I do the video. By 5 a.m., I start my workout, and I lift weights for 1 hour from 5 to 6. From 6 to 7, I go on a 4-mile walk. From 8 to 9, I get on the treadmill for another 4 miles. From 9 to 10, I ride the bike for 10 miles. And I was a little early this morning. And I was on my walk from 6 to 7 this morning. And again, I look down, I'm crossing the street, busy intersection, And I look down, and there's a plastic. It looked like an empty plastic bag at first. And I'm crossing the street, and there's a lot of traffic. There's a Dunkin' Donuts. There's a gas station. There's all traffic, and everybody could see me crossing the intersection. And I look, and there's buds. There's buds of green in the plastic bag. And I stop, and I turn back, and I pick it up. Because I'm just amazed that people lose their weed like this. And I hold it up for everybody to see it, the people in the intersection, and I just shook my head, and I threw it down because I don't want it. Like I said, no good could come of this. There's nothing, it looked like it had gotten run over a few times. I think there was a hole in the bag, and as I picked it up, some of the buds were actually falling out. It looked like good green bud. So I thought, well, at least somebody else, part of me actually hates to see it go to waste. I mean, it's just weed. And I have no use for it, so somebody might as well make some use for it. So I was kind of obvious about it and threw it down in the intersection. Like I said, there was traffic all around, so I know people saw me do this. I don't know if they knew there was weed in it. Anyway, I go by about an hour later in my car. I'm going to the supermarket to get some milk and ice cream and whatnot, and I look over really quick, and I can see the plastic bag's still there. Nobody picked it up. So anyway, all right, let's get into this now. Nick Fuentes. This video is unbelievable. He basically starts off the video by saying he says it's a black guy. A black guy is in Nick Fuentes' neighborhood, and Nick Fuentes calls him, I think he calls him a disgusting animal, some kind of animal, disgusting animal. I think he says, because Nick Fuentes claims he saw this guy throw a wrapper out of his window in his car. Like, I don't litter now, but I think I think we've all littered, either intentionally or unintentionally. It's not something I do now. It's not something I approve of. When I see people do it, it kind of disgusts me. And honestly, I pick stuff up. When I see other people throw stuff out, I pick it up. Because I've told you guys before, now that I'm in recovery, I realize that people are going to do what they're going to do. Like the serenity prayer. God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So in this situation, when somebody litters, that's something I can't control. I cannot control that. I'm not going to get angry. It disgusts me. I wish people wouldn't do that. But the thing I can do, the serenity to accept the things I can't see, the courage to change the things I can. So I make a habit of actually picking up the litter. There's another guy in this neighborhood, and I see him every single day. He's about 10 years older than me. He's probably about 67. Every day since I've lived here for 2 years. And this just proves the fact that it's not all bad people in the city. And every day this guy drives with his car, and he moves his car throughout downtown here. And he gets out, he's got an orange vest. And he picks up garbage all morning long just to get rid of litter. Every single day for the last 2 years, I've seen this guy out there just hard at work, doing it in his own personal car with his own, he looks like he's retired. Now that's amazing. So one person like this makes up, in my mind, it kind of evens things out for the people that do litter. Anyway, getting back to Nick Fuentes now. So this is what, I hope I can say this and still stay monetized. Because people bust Nick Fuentes about Hitler, Adolf Hitler. And so Nick Fuentes says that, I should hate Hitler? I hate this guy. I hate this guy that's littering in my neighborhood, this disgusting animal. And he says, if I was in a room with Adolf Hitler and this guy, me and Adolf Hitler would get together and beat the shit out of this guy. Then he says, Hitler would hold him down, and I think he says kill him. I hope I could say this. Like I said, I'm kind of throwing caution to the wind today and just kind of talking about whatever I want to talk about in any way I want to talk about it. That's what happens when the views go to crap. And so the link's right down below, and you could actually watch this. They'll probably just be the one link down below, and you could actually watch this and say this. And the thing that blows me away is Trump could actually end up being the next president of the United States if he's not in jail, and that's looking more and more possible. And Trump, the ex-president of the United States and possible next president of the United States, actually sat down with Nick Fuentes and had supper with this guy. The guy that's saying this. So Nick Fuentes is basically, he's saying that he would rather, how many people did Adolf Hitler exterminate? I think it was 5 million Jews, European Jews, and 6 million prisoners of war. If I'm not mistaken, I might have transposed those numbers. 11 million people died at Hitler's demand. So are you, I can't believe this. So Nick Fuentes is saying that a guy throwing a wrapper, and a black guy at that, throwing a wrapper out of his car, to him is worse than killing 11 million people. Are you freaking kidding me? And on top of that, he would team up with Hitler. So I started thinking about this. I started thinking, what if it was a white guy? What are you trying to say? Oh, by the way, on Fox News, I'll put this link down below. Fox News is saying that what if this whole idea about blacks being treated unfairly by the justice system, what if it's false? Seriously. And I read the article, and they don't have anything leg to stand on, but they're just feeding their viewers this stuff. They kind of twist it around, and what they're basically saying in this article is that black people commit more crimes. And I've seen my whole life. I've seen the way people that I hang out with look at black people and what they say about. I've heard the prejudice. I've heard the racist comments. So you can't tell me. And I've heard them said by cops and law enforcement people. So you can't tell me this. So anyway, like I said, the links will be down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just decided to, like I said, let the chips fall where they may. All right, you guys have a good Thursday.